What you're looking at here is unlimited heavy ammo for an LMG and running double special at the same time. Not just that, but constant devour, constant overshields, constant weakening, constant void breaches and constant little AoE void explosions. There was some tech back in Edge of Fate that people have completely forgotten about, except me. This setup I've got will ensure that you will have 99% uptime on your heavy LMG. You can use it as a primary. This will work in any content. This is just a dungeon, but you'll see stuff here from a Master Lost Sector and Grandmaster content as well throughout the video. It's just such a good build and it shreds through everything. There are a couple of key components which I'll get into, but genuinely you can make this with just a few things. Let's talk about it. The first part of this setup is an exotic, which is Actium War Rig. Now this steadily reloads ammo back into your gun, and final blows with auto rifles or machine guns will boost their stability, ammo generation and damage. Now you'll see the auto loading link bar on the left hand side. As we get kills, this progressively increases, and when we hit max we will have incredible ammo generation, stability and damage. The second part is the Bane of Sorrow heavy machine gun, which drops from Pantheon, and its elliptical orbit origin trait. What it states is after briefly sprinting, gain significantly increased ammo generation. So when we're sprinting, we will have a buff called Outer Orbit, and you will see it appearing on the bottom left hand side of the screen. When that's active, our ammo generation for the LMG goes up greatly, and this also adds to the unlimited heavy ammo. And the final component is our mod setup, so we'll have void generation on our chest and then void reserves on our legs, the harmonic scavenger mod. So when we pick up void ammo we will get an increased amount, and also if we put in heavy ammo finder and special ammo finder on our helmet, this will just increase the amount of ammo that we receive. All with this packaged together basically equals unlimited heavy ammo, and if we do in the off chance run out of heavy ammo, then we can bring out our exotic, which is Quira 1. Now Quira 1 is an auto rifle, so it will contribute to our Actium War Rig stacks, but it's also a great burst damage when you fire from the hip. It can greatly burst down champions, which you'll see in the background gameplay. But Quira 1 paired with an LMG just means we're constantly getting those Actium War Rig stacks and heavy ammo generation because they're both void, so they play back into our mod setup. And then finally for our top slot, we are taking Deliverance. If you're running any kind of champion content, I did a video recently where Deliverance will take care of all three champions because it has chill clip, but also because it's a precision frame. The precision frame deals with barriers, and then the chill clip will deal with overloads and unstoppables. Role for the Bane of Sorrow is destabilising rounds and killing tally, and that's purely because destabilising rounds ties so much into an artifact. But if you haven't got Bane of Sorrow, then Hammerhead will do the job, you just won't be able to generate as much ammo because you'll be missing out on that Outer Orbit trait, that buff that gives you more ammo generation. But Hammerhead will still work, or even Commemoration if you still get that will work too. You just won't have as much uptime on the heavy ammo because you're missing out on the extra ammo generation from Outer Orbit. One of the benefits of Bane of Sorrow as well is that it's a high impact LMG, so the rate of fire is slower but the bullets kill more, and with that Actium War Rig will make sure that we never need to reload this thing at all. Now in terms of the subclass, I'm on Void because it harmonises so well with the artifact of the Slayer Baron Apothecary Satchel, but if you don't want to run Void, you could easily use this on an arc build centred around Bolt Charge as well. But with the setup that I'm using, I'll go over it so you can have all the Void explosions, Devour, Overshield, Old God's Right, things like that. So in terms of the subclass, whatever super you want. I just prefer Twilight Arsenal because it's a bit of a damage super. Again, melee is up to you. I like shield throw. Scatter grenade because it's the lowest cooldown because we'll be using unbreakable. Unbreakable is just an extra layer of survivability in case we are in a situation where there aren't a lot of adds and we've got a boss. We can use unbreakable just to recover and better position ourselves. And then controlled demolitionist. Hitting a target with a void ability or volatile explosion makes them volatile. Further damage to a volatile target causes them to explode. This grants us health when a volatile target explodes near us, which will happen all the time because we're using an LMG with volatile rounds. And then for the fragments, we've got Echo of Vigilance. Defeating a target while your shields are depleted grants you a temporary void over shield, which is great. Echo Salvation, picking up a Void Breach or an Orb of Power grants Devour. Now in this build we'll be creating Void Breaches all the time. Echo of Cessation, finish your final blows, create a burst of void to cause nearby combatants to become volatile. Defeating volatile targets generates a Void Breach. So this is our Void Breach engine. Echo Cessation, we need this. Echo Obscurity, finish your final blows, grant invisibility. This again is just an extra layer of survivability on the build. If you're in a bad position, finish an enemy and you go invisible. And to help with that, we've got Echo Persistence. Void buffs applied to us, invisibility, overshield and devour, which we will have all three, have increased duration. So we've got a lot of survivability, we've got a lot of health regeneration in this. Devour plus controlled demolition will grant us health all the time. Then we've got invisibility and overshields baked in too, just for that extra layer of survivability. Now for the artifact, we're on Slayer, Baron, Apothecary, Satchel, and this is all based around Void Breaches. Now when we pick up a Void Breach, we will grant ourselves Devour, we will get a Weakening Pulse, and we will also cause a Old God's Right, which is, you'll see in the gameplay, something opens up from the sky and all these void projectiles burst out. That is essentially the reason why we're using this. When we pick up a Void Breach, we'll get Devour, Weaken and Old God's Right, and then we have other things in there to bolster this. Debilitating Wave will do Weaken when we do a finisher, on top of making us invisible. Curative Orbs, collecting an elemental pickup, will grant us a small amount of health, so when we collect a Void Breach, we'll get more health as well. Void Renewal, while Devour is active. Void Weapon, final blows have a chance of generating a Void Breach, so again, more Void Breaches to fuel our Devour and Weaken engine. And then the thick of it, rapid final blows when you're surrounded grant you armor charge, which is great for us because we'll be in the thick of it all the time, and because we have controlled demolitionist, we'll be regaining our health and also generating armor charge. In terms of stats, you want your weapon stat as high as possible, so 180 weapons I would say at least. This will provide us a large ammo brick chance of 81%, which is more fuel for our heavy, and it's great. We also get an extra 8% weapon damage for heavies and an extra 12% weapon damage for both specials, but 180 weapon stat is what you want to aim for. The best way to do this, I would say, is focus your ghost into Powerhouse. Now Powerhouse will give us weapon as our primary stat and super as our secondary stat, so I currently have 181 weapons and 130 super, which is fantastic. Everything else is, not necessary because all of our survivability will come from the artifact. We don't need to rely on our melee, we don't need to rely on our grenades, those are just extras. In terms of armour sets, so I'm currently running the Pantheos Resplendent 4-piece, which picking up ammo, which we'll be doing all the time, grants us armour charge, and also grants us a bonus to health stat per armour charge we have. So more health plus all armour charge because we're picking up ammo all the time. And then the 4-piece, sustained damage to mini bosses, champions and bosses, increases weapon damage versus base and powerful combatants. So this is just a byproduct that will get extra damage through our general gameplay. But if you don't have access to the Pantheon set, the King's Fall 2-piece will also give you ammo generation for defeating powerful combatants. So if you've got access to the King's Fall 2-piece, then use that and you don't even need to rely on Bane of Sorrow at that point. You can use any LMG with any class that you want. This is just the setup that I've went for because I love Void. For the gameplay loop, all you need to do is get kills with a destabilising round LMG. This will generate Void Breaches, which will grant you Devour. You will be getting more stacks of Actimorrig, which will generate more ammo generation. You've already got good ammo generation as well because of your weapon stat and inner and outer orbit. So all you need to do is get kills with your LMG and the rest of the build will come online intrinsically. In the rare occasion that you do run out of heavy ammo, then you've got Choir 1 there, you've also got Deliverance there for any champs that you might run into, and then use your super for bosses, use your grenade and melee as and when that you need to. This is probably the most brain dead build, but it's so effective at what it does. All you're doing is just killing things with your LMG, and intrinsically you'll become unkillable and you can use your heavy as a primary. Hopefully you've enjoyed the build. Let me know what you think down below. If you want to see more from me, then be sure to subscribe for more Destiny 2 content, and if you liked the video, please give it a like as it really helps me out. Thanks very much for your time, I really appreciate you watching, and I'll see you soon for more Destiny 2 videos. All the best, cheers.